it's real unsettling. I think the devil's meddling. I'm leveling up to level everything in front of me. Most motherfuckers is maxed out by now. They all must be malfunctioning. It's been like 358 days since I done caught me a fade. Haterade in my cup, y'all know what's going down whenever that bitch getting ready.
Chat room. What in the world? Definitely not something that I expected today. I can't say that I expected the trade of Harry Ford at all, let alone today for a reliever. However, let's talk about it a little bit, because Jose Ferrer is kind of a little bit more than just a reliever, right? He is a guy that has come up through the Nationals system and has seen some success. He throws really hard. He throws 100. All right. And he locates. It's the biggest thing with him is just getting himself into a position where he's able to make an impact. Jose Ferrer is good. Chat. I see a lot of people in the chat right now. Don't ever play that garbage again. Shut up, Peter. I'm going to play whatever I want, buddy. How about you don't ever come in here with your garbage comment again, buddy? Anyway. Yeah, it's Jose Ferrer is a guy that I talked about a little bit on a video recently. How the Mariners were looking at a couple of different like pitchers throughout the offseason, and they were hoping that you guys can't hear? Audio's cutting out. What do you mean audio's cutting out? Hello? On a video recently, how the Mariners were looking at a couple of different try refreshing here. Hold on. Refresg. Let me pull up Jose Ferrer's numbers here. Got you. All right, here we go, chat. Guy is a terrible pitcher, a 4.48 ERA. Chat, his ERA is not everything. Let me tell you, his ERA is not everything. He's 25 years old, okay? He's 25. Let me hide the partial rows here. He had a 4.48 ERA in 2025. I don't know if they have expected ERA on here. Let me get you guys to Baseball Savant. Baseball Savant. Jose A. Ferrer. I completely disagree, chat, that the Nationals won this trade. Just so we're clear, I completely disagree. I think that we are very much overvaluing Harry Ford in this situation. I truly think that we are overvaluing Harry Ford. Jose Ferrer, I mean, you look, he had a 3.61 expected ERA, so he got pretty unlucky. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. His barrel percentage is in the 93rd percentile, and he is a massive ground ball pitcher in the 99th percentile. I truly think that we might be overvaluing Harry Ford here. We are overvaluing a backup catcher. How many years of control does he have? 3 or 4, I believe. 3 or 4. I don't know if maybe Harry Ford. Maybe Harry Ford will surprise me, right? But in the end, he's not done anything at the big leagues. Jose Ferrer has at least been in the big leagues. The Mariners also traded pitching prospect Isaac Lyon in this trade, but obviously the big one is here is obviously Harry Ford moving on. 4 years, right? So he goes in. He'll be an ARB1 next year, I think, right? Backup catcher is still $3 million on the open market. Have to sign one now. Jose Ferrer on the open market, chat, I'm not going to lie, probably would have made like 7 to 8 million a year. 7 to 8 million a year. There's still plenty of time this offseason, chat, for them to go sign a backup catcher. And if they decide to go re-sign Mitch Garver, that's fine. As a backup catcher, that is more than fine. Unfortunately for Harry Ford, he was in a position that he's obstructed in with Cal Raleigh, and the timelines don't match up. Cal is still going to catch the lion's share of the games. Would you rather have Harry Ford on your bench doing nothing. Literally nothing. Or a back end of the bullpen reliever. Like, those are the two options here. Where does he slot in the bullpen? I think that it probably goes, Munoz, Brash. I'd put him right around Gabe Spire. Honestly, I would put Jose Ferrer right around Gabe Spire, like, level. Not quite there yet. Again, he's 25. He's still young. How many innings has he pitched in the big leagues? One sec, chat. He's thrown a total of 142 innings in the big leagues. So obviously he's still pretty green, but the two options are either having Harry Ford on your bench. So not only are you hurting his development by not playing him, plain and simple, his development would be hurt if he was on your bench. Or would you rather have a guy who I think could probably slot in right around the Gabe Spire area of the bullpen? How many years of control does he have? 4 years of control. I would rather get true value for Ford. What is the value of Ford? Like what is the value of Harry Ford? A backup catcher? Like, what are we talking about, Cha? We are very much overvaluing Harry Ford. Now, I would much rather have Harry Ford than Garver for a backup catcher. Sure, but I agree. I don't disagree with that. I would rather have Ford as the backup catcher over Mitch Garver. However, I think that if you were the in between of Harry Ford and Mitch Garver is very minimal. Very minimal. All right. Like, how much better is Harry Ford really going to be? We have no idea if he can hit at the big leagues. We have no clue. You get Mitch Garver, is not like great. He's not the best, but he knows the pitching staff. You know that he is able to get hits once in a while, at least. We don't know for sure if Harry Ford can even do that. I don't know if we could have gotten more for Harry Ford. I'm very much undervaluing Harry Ford. I don't think I am. Yo, Mello with the $4.99. Maybe this will be like the DeSclafani move, being packaged into a bigger deal. Ferrer is going to be a part of this bullpen, in my opinion. He, again, chat, in like 2 or 3 years, like, even as soon as next year, this coming year, Jose Ferrer could be like a reliever who I think could have like a 2.5 ERA, especially with the Mariners development staff. This move makes a ton of sense in my opinion. I also miss this. Ian with the 23 months. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. And then Mello also hit us with the 9 months. Don't like the move at the moment, but let Jerry cook. I appreciate that, guys. I'm not saying, man, chat, you could say I'm coping all you want, but I think you guys are very much undervaluing Jose Ferrer. You're looking at the stats and being like, oh, he had a 4.48 ERA. All right, well, he got incredibly unlucky. He had a 3.61 expected ERA. I bet you his BABIP was crazy. I don't know if it shows it on here. But an expected ERA of 3.61, an expected ERA in 2024 of 2.68. He throws a sinker 71% of the time, 97.7 miles an hour, a changeup 22% of the time, and a slider 7% of the time. Like, that is the kind of guy, in my opinion, that the Mariners thrive with. They truly thrive with a guy of Ferrer's like archetype. How much is he going to cost over the next 4 years? We don't know. He's going to make the league minimum this year, which is what, 800, 900,000 or something like that. And then over the next 3 years, he's going to be in arbitration. So probably not that much. I would be willing to bet he would be, I'd be willing to bet he'll make under $10 million over the next 4 years. So bring back Tom Murphy. I'm in. Ford's bat was not good. I mean, we don't know, right? We just don't know. Like, yes, everywhere he's gone, he's hit for the most part. But again, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier for those of you that are just kind of coming in. I think that the hardest part for people right now is understanding the roles that these guys were going to play. Harry Ford, backup catcher, awesome. Like, he would have been a fun, great backup catcher. Exactly what Vegeta said. It doesn't matter how good your prospect is if he doesn't play. Harry Ford was not going to play. He was going to play like maybe twice a week. That value is very, very low. And in my opinion, you are hurting the development of Harry Ford as well in that situation. I disagree, Izzy. You could not. I don't think you could have gotten Jose Ferrer for less. You have no reason to. Like, the Nats had really no reason to trade him unless they were blown away. We could have had Anthony Mashevitz. Hey, you know what, Mike? Another left-handed reliever. There it is. Again, I think that the hardest part for everyone, and, you know, I see everybody freaking out in the chat. The hardest part for everyone is Harry Ford's been with this organization for years. He was a guy out of... what's the earliest Ferrer plays? Opening day. He'll be on the roster as long as he's healthy. Harry Ford has been with this organization since he was drafted. He was a high school catcher, and people have been waiting for him to finally, you know, kind of break onto the scene. But with the emergence of Cal Raleigh, with Cal Raleigh signing his extension, the timelines don't match up. Plain and simple. Harry Ford is ready to go now. He is not going to be able to catch right now. Like, with Cal Raleigh in the fold, Harry Ford's not catching. Like, in that regard, you are hurting his value to the highest extent. You are hurting his development. And then, like, backup catchers are not that valuable. A backup catcher can be had at any point during the offseason. Any point. And, as I see a lot of people mentioning in the chat, if you look at the Mariners prospect system, a timeline that makes more sense. A timeline that... who's our DH right now? Probably Dominic Canzone. And Jorge Polanco if they re-sign him. So we get some scrub as our backup. You're not gonna have a all-star catcher as your backup catcher. That's not how baseball works, Chad. It's not how it works. We were way too spoiled when we had Omar Narvaez and Tom Murphy both have a good year in like 2019. When you look at the Mariners prospect system, right? The Mariners drafted a bunch of catchers over the past couple of years. And honestly, I am a lot more bullish on Luke Stevenson than I am on Harry Ford. Truthfully. Like, I am a lot more bullish on Luke Stevenson. I think that he'll be the better prospect, and he's maybe, you know, a year or two away. But with that being said, a year or two from now, Cal, you know, let's say Cal's legs are starting to go a little bit, or they want to give Cal a few more days off, or maybe he's DHing more. They need a guy to step in to that role as a catcher in a couple of years. But, like, right now, are you going to just leave Harry Ford on your bench for a couple of years? I don't think you are. It just doesn't make sense in my opinion. And then you look through the minor league system for the Mariners. They don't have a guy like Jose Ferrer. They have plenty of guys like Harry Ford. Now, obviously, Harry Ford has been much better. Harry Ford has proven himself on, you know, like for the WBC, for example. He's more proven than those guys, but I still think that trading for Jose Ferrer, an archetype of a guy that you don't have in your organization, truly, a high velo left-handed pitcher, that's something the Mariners have kind of sorely missed. Was obviously Gabe Spire's been great. Gabe Spire has been exactly what you've needed over the past however long, right? The last 2-3 years, however long he's been with the club. But he has kind of found himself in a role where he's facing both righties and lefties all the time, so he's not necessarily a specialist guy, whatever. I don't think that Ferrer has to be a specialist either. Let me pull up his splits really quick while we're at it, chat. Look at his career splits. But you don't have another guy like Jose Ferrer in the minor leagues. You have other guys that I think are more like Harry Ford in the minor leagues. Okay. Let me switch the screen here. So versus left-handed hitters, Jose Ferrer has a 248 BABIP, a 211 batting average allowed, a 254 OBP, and a 307 slugging. He is a guy that neutralizes lefties. Like and he's gonna throw, like I mentioned, he's gonna throw 97 miles an hour on average with a sinker, which is why his ground ball rate is 90 in the 99th percentile. We have plenty of low leverage relievers in our bullpen in our system. This is not a low leverage reliever. This is a high leverage reliever. Full stop. This is a high leverage reliever. Full stop. Like, fact of the matter. Actually, let me pull something up here, chat. Hang on, let me read. From Creed, $5 says, the Mariners offseason it's the Mariners offseason when fan base is pissed at the front office. Interesting trade though. Time will tell how it works out. On God. Like, I see that a lot of people being like, who's gonna be the backup catcher? As of right now, I don't care. Well, that will be figured out. Like, it's going to be probably somebody like Mitch Garver or whatever, which is fine as a backup catcher. Yeah, NPW, I agree. Like, obviously, the 3-batter minimum changes that. But let's say you're going up against Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. You're going with Jose Ferrer in that situation because you're facing two lefties. Reminds me of the Santos trade. This one's a little bit different than the Santos trade. Because with the Santos trade, you traded, Zach DeLoach and Prelander Baroa. And Santos is a guy with an injury history. Santos maybe, like, I was kind of bullish on Santos. I'm much more bullish on Ferrer because he's done it. He's done it over the past couple of years, whereas Santos had done it for like a season. But you know who Jose Ferrer reminds me a lot of, chat? Hang on. This is a pitcher that reminds me a lot of, based on the arsenal and based on how hard he throws and whatnot. A guy that Jose Ferrer reminds me a lot of is Joan Duran. Now, obviously, Joan Duran, one of the best relievers in all of baseball, has a really hard, or maybe I'm thinking of Brewstar Gratterall. Hold on. I might be thinking of Brewstar. Let me check. But yeah, this is a situation where you look at the Mariners bullpen, and they were planning on adding a guy over the next. Oh yeah, I must be thinking of Gratterall. A guy over the next week or so that was going to fill in the back end of the bullpen, and that's what Jose Ferrer is. Okay. So Brewstar. Wrong one, chat. Sorry. Brewstar Gratterall, right? A sinker at 98.3 miles an hour on average. Throws it a little bit harder than Ferrer does. He's mainly sinker slider, right? Sinker slider. And you look at his numbers. I mean, he didn't pitch a whole lot this year due to an injury, but I'm sorry, in 2024 due to an injury. Let's look at 2023. The 99th percentile in ground ball percentage due to that sinker. Very, very similar to Jose Ferrer. 99th percentile in ground ball percentage, 93rd percentile in barrel percentage, and 95th percentile in walk percentage. Brewstar also was a guy who was able to limit walks in the 95th percentile. Left-handed Brewstar Gratterall? Like, I think left-handed Brewstar Gratterall is fine with me, personally. I understand why people are upset. I do. I just think this is a move that makes a ton of sense on paper. You look, yeah. Yeah, I agree with the man Jacob Eli. Ford's value is a good value to trade right now. Good value trade for Justin and Jerry. Here's what happens, chat. Let's say this trade didn't happen, okay? And Harry Ford is your backup catcher for 2025. Brewstar Gratterall is so much better. They have like the same numbers. Mitchell, what do you mean? Brewstar's just older. He's been in the league longer. Harry Ford over the next, 8 months is a backup catcher, right? How many at bats last year did Mitch Garver have? Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver had 290 at bats in 2025. If you have Harry Ford and you give him 290 at bats, okay, 290 at bats for Harry Ford, and let's say he struggles, there's a real world, chat, where Harry Ford doesn't play well this year. Like, there's a real world where he is not like a over 100 WRC plus player. Look at Cole Young, for example. If that is the case, then Harry Ford's value goes down the toilet. It's gone. It's gone. Like, and then you can't trade him for anything. And he's just another backup catcher until he can prove himself. And he's not going to get a chance to prove himself with the Mariners. Like, truthfully, he would not get a chance to prove himself with the Mariners because they have Cal Raleigh. So pour one out for Sir Harry. Jerry's rolled Mitch with the 5. Appreciate it, Mitch. Pour one out for Sir Harry, chat. Boom. Appreciate the 5, Mitch. Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. Like, again, I do not blame people for being upset. I don't blame people for being upset. But you are going to be able to go out there. It's going to be a lot easier to find a backup catcher than it is a high leverage reliever on this market. Like, plain and simple. Boomer with the 199. Best prediction on opening day: second base, shortstop, third base. Shortstop's going to be JP. Second base, I'm going to say opening day, I'm going to say Jorge Polanco. Honestly, it's either Jorge Polanco or like Cole Young. And then third base I'll say is going to be Ben Williamson. Mike E with the 5. Christian Vasquez, Reese McGuire, or Danny Jansen. One of you is a Seattle Mariner. And those are fantastic. Like, those are completely fine backup catchers. Guys that are going to get 290 ABs. That is completely fine. And again, you guys are looking, or we're looking at Jose Ferrer's numbers, and he is a guy that I really do think the Mariners are going to be able to mold into something special. The Mariners are good at this, chat. They're really good at finding guys they like and saying, we're going to turn you into one of the best relievers in all of baseball. They've done it like countless times over the past 10 years. Countless times. We basically just replaced Saucedo. Oh man, chat. If you guys are valuing, hopefully that wasn't us valuing Jose Ferrer the same as Taylor Saucedo, because Jose Ferrer is 10 times better than Taylor Saucedo. I love Sauce, I do. Jose Ferrer is much better. They've failed just as often, have they, Azaria? Have they? I mean, you have a guy that in Jose Ferrer that has all the tools. How many times have they failed with that guy specifically? You could say Gregory Santos, dude just couldn't stay healthy, right? Gregory Santos is a good litmus test because he had some of the same tools, but dude, every time anything happened with him, he was like out for like 6 months at a time. Michael King just subscribed to the pitcher, or the free agent pitcher. Michael King, chat. Michael King's coming to the Mariners. Michael King's coming to the Mariners. You heard it here first. Let me show you guys the minor league stats here for Jose Ferrer. Can I hide partial rows? Cool. What was that one? Mikey. Well, what would one of those guys cost, do you think? For one of those relievers, Mike, I would say probably, oh God, I'd say under 5 million personally. Like, I would say under 5 million. All right. So in the minors, right? He was in the minors as recently as 2024. He was coming back from an injury though. He had a 3.83 in 2023, 2022 he had a 2.48, 2.78 in 2021. The Mariners think that they can turn him back into that. They do. And if the Mariners think that they can turn him back into what he was in the minor leagues, because again, the Mariners are very good at this, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The backup catcher. Yeah, Mike, I think that it would probably cost under $5 million. Maybe like 5 to 7. How about that? We'll say 5 to 7. Mackenzie Gore, why? You know, I mean, I get it. I just don't see really a spot for him unless the Mariners don't plan on trading. They don't plan on trading Luis Castillo. So we're comparing him to Ferguson. Chat, we're lost. We've lost the narrative. In my opinion, this is a fine trade. This is very much a fine trade. I'll remember this stream when he gives up a walk-off bomb in the ALCS against the Tigers. Thanks, Mellow Jello. Appreciate that. Hey, man. You know, if it happens, I will gladly eat crow. But I truly think that this is a good trade. I do. You traded a backup catcher for a reliever that has a really good chance to be a back end of the bullpen reliever. Why would we not trade Castillo? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why would we not trade Castillo? Guy was the only one that made 32 starts last year. He is literally Caleb Ferguson if he threw harder, because they both have a high ground ball rate. Just because they have a high ground ball rate, that's it. That's all you got. I mean, honestly, if Caleb Ferguson threw harder, maybe he'd be better. But also, Caleb Ferguson's been ass his entire career, other than part of last year. So, anyway, chat. When you look at a roster, right? What is more important? A guy to throw in the 6th through the 8th inning, or a catcher to catch twice a week? Is Harry the starting catcher on the Nats now? He'll split time with Keibert Ruiz, I'm sure. I would say that him and Keibert Ruiz will probably be pretty close to 50-50 if I had to guess. Our infield defense sucks. I mean, we're probably going to have literally the best defender at third base in the world as your starting third baseman. So, you know, I don't know about all that. Jacob with the 15. Simple. Championship teams aren't built with farm systems. I love the front office willing to be aggressively wrong. Aggressively wrong? Yeah, you're not going to win a World Series because you have some of the top prospects. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna win a World Series like that. So what the Mariners are doing now, because they have the core, they finally have the core in place. With that being said, they still have guys like Colt Emerson, who's going to get a chance over at third base, right? You have Cole Young, Ryan Bliss, Leo Rivas, etc. But overall, your team is relatively set after they acquired Josh Naylor. Nobody's arguing they shouldn't have traded Ford, dude. They're annoyed that the Mariners couldn't get more for him in return. I think we're really overvaluing a guy who's never done anything at the big league level and who is graded out as a poor defensive catcher. Don't get me wrong. I love Harry Ford. Great dude. Awesome dude. And I hope that he succeeds. I really do. But I truly think that we might just be overvaluing him a little bit, Chad. I truly do. He is a catcher who has done nothing at the major leagues, who does not grade out well as a catcher. Now that could change next year, I mean, with the automated ball strike system. But what a waste of a blue chip, man. I truly didn't think that you guys were going to be this upset about it. All right, hold on. Let's do a poll here, chat. Is this a good trade? Question mark. Let's see it. This will be a good test for tomorrow when Joe and I have to record the podcast. This will be a good test. Ferrer 5 ERA and 275 with 20 home runs coming. Cody, I don't know how to tell you this. I don't think Harry Ford's hitting 20 home runs. And if I'm wrong, again, I will happily eat crow. You guys can clip all of this stream. And if I'm wrong, I will eat crow. Can I have an unsure option? Nah. No, we got to say it with our whole chest, chat. There are risks on both sides. There absolutely are. Seth with the 499. Trade JP for another bullpen arm. Let Ben start at third and Colt at shortstop. No more Colt at third. I mean, Colt will move over to shortstop literally next year when JP's gone. I'm completely fine with giving JP the run at shortstop. Ford lost his blue chip status. He did. Yeah, he did lose his blue chip status. Unfortunately, again, I really like Harry Ford. I do. And I really hope that he goes to DC and turns into, a catcher with a long career in the big leagues. I think there is a lot higher of a chance. I think there's a lot higher of a chance that Harry Ford is closer to as people have mentioned, the Christian Vasquez, the Reese McGuire's, the Austin Barneses of the world than he is to the Cal Raleighs, JT Realmutos. I do. And honestly, I think that Jose Ferrer is closer to like the Joan Duran, Jose Alvarado of the world than he is to the Taylor Saucedos, for example. Now, it's very hard because bullpens are fickle. Bullpens are incredibly fickle. But you look at what Joan Duran got last trade deadline, for example, who's, making some money, whatever, more proven for sure. 2 top 100 prospects is a lot. Harry Ford, am I willing to say this? I'm willing to bet that like on a new, like a top 100 that comes out in, let's say, February or March, right? I'd be willing to bet that Harry Ford might fall off the top 100, chat. True. Frodo with the 499. If the trade was for Donovan, no one will be mad, or Joan Duran, but you don't trade Ford for just a reliever. Why? Like, I just don't see why not. High school catchers are notoriously tough to have hit at the big leagues. Notoriously. Also, the Cardinals have no need for a catcher. They've got like 3. They have no need for a catcher. So so Brandon Donovan wouldn't make sense. And obviously, I am willing to bet. I'm willing to bet, Frodo, that when the Mariners thought that they were acquiring Joan Duran at the deadline, I'm willing to bet that Harry Ford was a part of that deal. Truthfully. Although they do have Ryan Jeffers there. Like I think that Joan Duran would have been part of that deal. Honestly. I didn't think chat was going to be this grumpy. In my opinion, chat, again, in my opinion, the value of a guy that's going to be able to pitch in a leverage spot over a value of a guy who we have no idea what he is. We don't know. Like, the Mariners were trying Harry Ford in left field. They were trying Harry Ford, like, there was talk about him moving to third base. Nobody knows what to do with Harry Ford. And that's not a bad thing. A guy like Harry Ford a guy like Harry Ford could be a great utility guy. There have been guys, like, think of Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, for example. Started out as a catcher with the Texas Rangers. And now he's a super utility guy. That almost seems more like what Harry Ford could be than anything else, in my opinion. I missed your super chat? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, Mike said, trade JP and Castillo, sign Mad Max and Bichette. Man, that's some MLB The Show trades, Mike. I'm in. What does Joe think of this trade with the 12-month secular? I appreciate it. I'm not sure. I don't even know if Joe knows the trade happened. I think he might be seeing a movie right now. I don't know where Joe is, just so we're clear. I mean, I know where he is, but I don't know like what he's doing. He might be seeing a movie right now. So I'd be more mad if we traded Ford for Alec Boehm. Man, if we traded Alec Boehm, or traded for Alec Boehm, I'd be pissed. I don't like the guy. I don't think he's a fit, truthfully. Who is backing up Cal? Right now, it doesn't matter. The Mariners will sign a backup catcher. The Mariners will acquire a backup catcher of some way. It doesn't matter who's backing up Cal right now. Cal plays 150 games a year, you know what I mean? Like, what's the next move? I honestly think the next move is probably the Mariners re-signing Jorge Polanco. I do. I think that the Mariners will re-sign Jorge Polanco over the next week or so, during the winter meetings, basically. I think so, Vegeta, yeah. You keep saying where is Joe, but how is Joe? As far as I know, he's doing good. As far as I know. I could be wrong. Have no idea. Yeah, I think that the next move is probably Jorge Polanco. If I had to guess, over the next week, chat, I think the Mariners sign Jorge Polanco and they acquire another reliever and potentially a backup catcher. Truthfully. That's what I think is going to happen. He can't do 150 every year. Oh, I completely agree. He can't. He can't do 150 every year. But, again, Harry Ford is a guy who is ready to go now, and he's going to be blocked by Cal. I mean, again, getting Harry Ford into 87 games or whatever is fine, but he is a lot more valuable to you if he can go start somewhere, and you can trade him, and that's what they did. Cal, in, again, 2 or 3 years' time, sure, maybe he's not catching 150 games a year, but at that point, maybe Luke Stevenson's ready, or the Mariners will find, another way to back him up in some way. So next move is the Mariners re-sign Bo Bichette. Huh. Re-sign him? I'm in. Hell yeah, Yuquan. I'm in. We're re-signing Bo Bichette. I think Polo gets 3 for $45. Yeah, I mean, $15 million a year, I think is probably pretty close. If we can't get Polo, do we go for Bo? I doubt it. I mean, I would love for Bo Bichette to be a Mariner. I truly think that he just returns to Toronto. Jimmy Productions just subscribed. Shout out to you, Jimmy. Appreciate that. Let me look through Twitter and see what all's going on here. Y'all should make Mariner Mojo members off-season plans. React to Mojo members off-season plans. All right, Mike. Put together an off-season plan and I'll react to it. Or Joe will. Or we both will. I'm in. We could do that for like a podcast when there's nothing going on. Let's see. I'm trying to see if anyone else has anything else to say. 2 hours ago, Steve posted his Harry Ford 2025 highlights. That's so funny. Here we go, chat.
Well, that's it.
Let's take a look at this.
Jose, does that take care?
Everyone wants Ketel Marte, right? That was a ball, by the way. That was a ball, by the way. Next year, that would be a ball.
Ferrer
but look at that.
Does that take care?
100 miles an hour, top of the zone. Yeah. I'm there. But that's a ball next year. But you guys get the point. If this turns out to be the Veritek trade all over again, I will send your clips of you to urinating tree where you inevitably roast the entire franchise over this. I'm in. I'm willing to be that guy. People are saying, "Oh, Ferrer's not good. 4.48 ERA." Rich, I'm talking to you. All right, I know you're listening, Rich. Yes, Jose Ferrer is good. Let me show you his Savant page, right? 99th percentile in ground ball percentage, 95th percentile in walk percentage, 93rd percentile in barrel percentage. His sinker, 97, 98 mile an hour sinker, can go up to 100 from the left side. He has a changeup he throws 22% of the time, and a slider he throws 7% of the time. He seems like the exact kind of guy, Rich, in my opinion, that the Mariners like to go out and get. Truthfully. Man, 4+ ERA. Is ERA I think that I value ERA similarly, not nearly as useless, but I value ERA similarly to batting average. You know what I mean? Like it's fine to know. I don't think it's worth that much. Would I trade Daniel Vogelbach for Jose Ferrer? Next question. 5 gifted from Mike E. to Mr. Garden to Jackson to Touching Bases to Muddy and to XOXO. Dude, Mike, appreciate that. Can we get some smooches, bros, for Mike? I already used our things, didn't I? Membership gifting. Oh my god, I have 10 free memberships. Here we go. Here we go, chat. Let's do 5 more. Let's do 5 more really quick, huh? 5 more gifties. To Juju. To Jaron. To Nick. To Donovan. Brendan Donovan. And to Timothy. Let's go. Love it. Again, I will be the first to say, send me a pic to show to stream. Yeah. Go ahead, Dorian. Yeah. Send it on, I guess, Discord or whatever. Seth, subscribing. Appreciate it, Seth. Let me know when you send it, Dorian. Let me know when you send it. ERA is a known bad stat. Yeah, I mean, his expected ERA was 3.68. Like let's say his expected ERA was in the ERA spot. I don't think people would be as pissed. Truthfully. We have unreasonable expectations for our prospects. Yeah, and I think that one of the reasons for that, right, the unreasonable expectations for our prospects is because we have seen Julio, Cal, George, Logan. Like, we've seen a lot of these guys come up, and they've been great. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been some guys that have come up and haven't been great. Evan White, Kyle Lewis, etc. But the Mariners have had a pretty good hit rate on their prospects. Like, in my opinion, the Mariners have had a decent hit rate on their best prospects over the past couple of years. And because of that, I think that if they don't think that Harry Ford is a guy that is going to be able to impact the ball club, I trust them when they trade him. Sent? Okay. Dorian, can you explain this to me like I'm 5? What am I looking at? Coefficient of determination between the team stat on the left and team runs scored. Oh, most important. All right, chat. Here we go. The most important stats. Number 1, WRC. Most important stat in baseball. Weighted on base average. Next. OPS, the next most important. Slugging on base percentage, Fangraphs offense, WRC plus. I'm sorry, I don't see. Oh, there's batting average. What is it? And the team's runs scored for 2023. Let's see. Where's ERA? Triples. Omega lol. Where is ERA? Did I miss it? Am I blind? Hang on, chat. I might be blind. Is ERA not on here, or am I just stupid? I might just be stupid, chat. Anyway, most important stat to look at offensively is WRC. Makes sense. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't see ERA. Am I dumb, chat? Whatever. You guys get the point. Anyway, yeah, when you talk about the most important stats in baseball, right? WRC is going to be up there. OPS. Oh, it's just hitting stats? Got you. Just hitting stats. Got it. It's for runs scored. Right. You know what? That makes sense, Dorian. Can't have runs scored on a pitching stat. That's a good point. I like the way you think. ERA plus is better. I do agree. ERA plus is better than ERA. WRC over WRC plus. Yeah, I think that the difference is with WRC over WRC plus is WRC plus is like a statistic based on like a grading scale, so it kind of changes a little bit. Gregory Santos replacement. Gregory Santos if he was healthy. 5 games played with a walk-off hit. Yeah, Ford was terrible. Man. You know what? That's a good point, Ian. That's a good point. The Mariners know what they're doing when trading or letting catchers go. Nobody remembers Nola or Murphy. Yeah, I mean, do you guys remember when the Mariners traded Austin Nola and what they got for him? Like, the Mariners are really good at evaluating, like, the value of catchers. At least they have been. Again, Austin Nola trading, they got who? Taylor Trammell, Ty France, Andres Munoz, and Luis Torrens. Yeah, I'm also very much a prospect hugger. I agree with Mike. When the Mariners trade prospects, it makes me sad. Because, especially like if they trade Las Montes, I'm going to be sad. But known prospect hugger Colton Swanson, by the way. And again, sometimes it doesn't work out. That's just the nature of the game. That's the nature of trades. It's just the way things go. I think that this is a fine trade. I do. And again, I don't blame people that don't. However, we're going to end our poll now. We had 236 votes, I think it was, in the poll. And 59% of people said it was a good trade. So, it's still a pretty split room. About 60% of people saying good trade. So, yeah, this will be something I'll be interested to hear from Joe about. Because, again, I have no idea if Joe even knows about this trade right now. So, I'll be interested tomorrow when we talk about it on the podcast, how Joe's feeling about this trade. But yeah, I think it's okay. Just don't trade Colt Emerson. True. That wind was crazy last night. Also true. I'm not a prospect hugger and I don't like this trade. Not because I dislike Ferrer or like Ford, but because I think Ford, an MLB ready catcher with 6 years of control, is more valuable than a reliever. I'm sorry. I agree with that, Ian. But unfortunately, 6 years of control for a catcher who's blocked by the best catcher in baseball, like that's where on the very base level of what you said, I agree on the very base level. But when you have Cal Raleigh who is going to want to catch, I don't think that it can be valued the same. It truly can't. This day will be remembered during Mariners Anonymous episodes. For sure, man. For sure, suitcase. All right, chat. The fact that he's blocked is irrelevant, is it? If he's not going to play, what good is he to you? If he's not going to play, he's not worth anything. You know, his trade value is going to go down if he doesn't play. That's just the way it works, man. He was going to play. Was he? Like, how valuable are 290? How many at-bats did Cole Young have last year? Let's see something here. Cole Young. Cole Young had 257 at-bats. Good for a 78 OPS plus. Yeah, he's a guy on the 26-man all year. So, again, last year, Mitch Garver had 290 at-bats as the backup catcher. Cole Young, 257 at-bats. I would imagine that, let's say that Harry Ford was to play, to put up the exact same numbers as Cole Young did in roughly the same amount of plate appearances. His value drops dramatically. Like, his value is gone at that point, in my opinion. His value is based on his skills. I don't think, if I'm being honest with you, Ian, I think a lot of front offices around baseball don't see him as he's not a good defensive catcher. So, like, if I'm being honest, I don't know how he's valued by other, organizations, because if he's not a good defensive catcher, maybe they view him as a, I don't know, a left fielder. I have no idea. What are they gonna do once a week? That chat, there's still like 3 or 4 months left in the offseason. They're gonna sign a backup catcher. Obviously, Cal's not gonna play 162. Chat, come on, come on. 6 to 8 million. I think it'll cost anywhere between 5 to 7 to sign a backup catcher. This area, which is fine because how much would it have cost you to sign a reliever with the kind of stuff Ferrer has? A lot more than that. A lot more than that. I think Ferrer would have cost probably 9 to 10 million on the open market at least. Well, with how young he is, probably even more than that. Adam Jude saying Garver. Yeah, so if it does end up being Garver, I think it'll be like 4 million. But again, I don't blame anyone who's unsure. I do not blame anyone who is unsure about the about this trade. I don't know if this is going to mean anything to you guys, but let me show you guys this from Moonlight. Pitch mix, sinker, changeup, slider. He's got a 71% on the sinker, 22% on the slider, blah, blah. Average velo. His stuff plus 108 on the sinker, 110 and 128. His best pitch, similar to Andres Munoz, his best pitch is the slider. He throws really hard, and you would think it's that sinker, but his best pitch by stuff plus is his slider. He's got a 303 FIP, a 309 XFIP, a 4.9 walk percentage, which is fantastic, a 21.9% K rate, and a 3.60 expected ERA. So, I don't know. I think this is a fine trade, chat. Again, I don't blame you if you don't. I don't blame you. I have trouble. I have trouble having a problem with this trade. I just don't have a problem with it. People are saying, for example, Jonah here said you could have had so much more for Ford, or Kevin said that. I am willing to bet that the Mariners were shopping Ford and went with the best deal possible. So I don't think they could have gotten more for Ford. Truthfully. I would find it hard to imagine that the Mariners just saw the first deal offered for Ford and took it. Like, I honestly think that the Mariners probably did their due diligence. If I had to guess. Like, there's no way the Mariners were like, yeah, we'll take that one. They definitely did their due diligence in this. I'm just surprised he wasn't included in a bigger package. Yeah. And obviously that gets a little bit more like, okay, well then who else is going, etc. So then things get a little weird, but bigger package. Okay, George. You wanted to trade Ford for a sexier name? I mean, don't get me wrong. If the Mariners could have traded Ford, if the Mariners did this trade for like Joan Duran, right? If it was Harry Ford for Joan Duran, then sure. Like, obviously, I'd be happier with that. But then it's going to cost you more than just him. It's going to cost you at least another top 100 prospect, etc. So, do you think the Phillies would give up Strom and Bohm for the same package? No, I don't think so. Maybe, I mean, they might be happy to get rid of Bohm, but Matt Strom's like been way too valuable in my opinion. Matt Strom alone, I think, would have cost you more. So. Anyway, chat, I'm going to wrap it up there. Appreciate you guys for being here on this random emergency stream. I'm way too late. What do you think, Colton? Steve, I think it's fine. I'm very okay with it. Harry Ford, in my opinion, was going to lose value this year unless he came out and hit the cover off the baseball. The Mariners went out there, saw a reliever they liked, and the Mariners are good at this, so I'm going to trust that. I'm going to trust the fact that the Mariners are good at finding relievers and turning them into elite relievers. So, but nonetheless, chat, we'll obviously, if any other moves happen over the next couple of days, I'll try to be live whenever I can. I do, for the winter meetings, I work on Tuesday. I think that's, and do they start tomorrow or Monday? They start Monday, but I think everyone will start getting there Sunday, but I do work Tuesday, so I probably won't be able to do it that year. But anyway, appreciate you guys for being here. Excited for the winter meetings. Fingers crossed we can have more to talk about here over the next couple of weeks. But For now, appreciate you guys. Smooches.